The views expressed are those of the hosts and others featured in this podcast. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any companies hosting or distributing the recording of this podcast, the management and staffs, or those who advertise their products and services to their audience. So, let's do this, shall we?
Well, it's a done deal. Donald John Trump, the 35th President of the United States, is about to become the 37th President of the United States. His election was certified on the morning we're taping this, with no objections whatsoever. It was declared by his opponent, the Vice President, Kamala Harris. It's official. Unless something miraculous happens. And I even feel weird putting that out there right about now. We are going to go through at least 4 years of chaos in this country. But it got worse this morning. In North America, there are at least 3 shining lights in terms of freedom and stuff like that. The person who is running the United States, the person who is running Mexico, and the person who is running Canada. The person who is running Canada gave us notice this morning. And I don't know what put Pierre Trudeau in the position he found himself in. I don't know what horrible, terrible, disgusting thing he did. Maybe if the fact he did go down to Mar-a-Lago to try to talk some sense into someone who cannot detect sense whatsoever. But Pierre Trudeau, in his trademark good spirits, announced he was resigning. More details, obviously, where you get your news from reputable sources. But it's not just Canada. A far right-wing leader just basically seized control in Italy. So I guess Italy's off the go-to charts. In Germany, the ultra-right-wing is basically rearing their ugly heads there. In Great Britain, who just got rid of a ultra-right-wing person, the ultra-right-wing is still kind of hanging around looking for openings. With all of this, the right wing, at least here in America, the right wing and the left wing are falling apart. Now, if you're a lefty, you have been seeing all of the weirdness that has been going on in terms of the MAGAs. The term FAFO has been gleefully tossed around, but the left is disassembling as well. You've noticed that the major domos of TYT, Cenk Yeager, please change your name to something I can pronounce, and Anna Kasparian have basically been dancing to the right of the room. We've seen people that I thought were highly liberal, like Russell Brand, now moving towards the right. And the right, again, they're imploding. People like Tim Pool, Steven Crowder. It's like everything is imploding all at once. And the only thing that's giving me hope is that when this whole thing is over, and I hope to God that I'm alive to see it, because I am 70 years old, is that what I've been seeing for the last 20 years finally starting to happen will happen. The utter destruction of the left and right wings, the dead middle, the weird fringes on both sides, all destroyed, along with the Democratic and Republican parties, the Libertarian Party, the Green Party, all the other ancillaries, all destroyed. And what would be left, I'm hoping, what would be left is something that does not have any sexy name or acronym or anything like that, because there's really no sexy term to describe stuff that works. There's no sexy name to call something that's solution-based. I wish there was. Because that's the only thing that's going to save this planet. Governments that are not based on ideology or doctrine or putting something in a box. And if you basically step outside of the box, oh my God, you're either a rhino or a dino. We can't have that anymore. We need to have solution-based government. And what that means is that we may have to give up on some of our cherished isms. Capitalism, communism, socialism, because the isms aren't working anymore. The isms are not working anymore. Not just the politics are coming apart at the seams, but all of the isms are falling apart at the seams. On top of all that, Christianity is blowing up. People are leaving the church, not because they don't believe in God anymore, because unfortunately they equate the faith and the doctrine to the people who say they are following it, and the people who say they are following it are pretty much so far away from the entities that created it, it's not even funny. On top of all that, there's a lot of stuff, and I'm not going to go into all of it because I kind of like living. But there's a lot of stuff right now that we've hung on in terms of belief that we really need to have a serious discussion, a real serious discussion. And some of these things that I am not brave enough to talk about right now. But if we don't start talking about these things, relationship-wise, faith-wise, financially, even intimately, if we don't start talking about why we believe what we believe, and equate that with the real reality that's of a lot of the stuff that's going on right now, it's going to hurt us bad. So basically, this is what I am hoping for. I am hoping that when this whole thing is settled and whoever is still alive is still alive, this will be our rebirth, our being born again. Or as the song says, if you want to get to heaven, you got to get through a lot of hell. And we're going to go through at least 2 to 4 years of that, starting on the 20th. My main TikTok handle is Radio Don 2. RADIO DON 2. I'm recording this on January 6th. Which means I probably have about 12 more days left on the platform. By now, some of you who have been paying attention know that the government wants TikTok either sold to an American company or shut down. The reason why they are given, the official reason they're given, is national security. It's that lie they tell every time they want to hide what the government wants to do. And in my opinion, it is a lie. And I'll continue to call it a lie until somebody, either in the government or ByteDance, comes clean about exactly what it is. If this is a national security issue, the fact that TikTok and its ancillary apps, Lemon 8 and CapCut, which, by the way, is the best video editing platform available to anyone who is not a film editor at a major studio. All 3 of those will go away on the 19th, or at least be in a situation where it'll start to degrade, updates can't be made, things like that. Now, by now you know that the Supreme Court's about to hear arguments on both sides about why the ban should not be put in place. The Supreme Court, by the way, says that they are going to only hear arguments concerning the First Amendment rights situation, which could very well be our saving grace. But before this platform is gone, I need to hear specifics from the government. Before Nancy Pelosi goes under the knife to replace her hip, I need for her to tell us exactly what is the threat. Oh, that China may influence people, as if we are too dumb to understand what propaganda is? Or does the United States government want to have that area all to themselves? By saying that the Chinese government can influence you, the TikTok user, or any other user of social media, what the government is saying is that you are too stupid to think for yourself. As a matter of fact, in the brief that the U.S. government is putting out, Merrick Garland, we fought for you, dude, by the way. We fought for you when you were being sent to the Supreme Court, and the Republicans tried to derail you and succeeded in doing that. We fought for you, man. We fought for you. Now you're doing this to us. Makes you wonder. They have told us that because ByteDance is owned by a adversarial government, that we who speak on TikTok do not have First Amendment rights. This is unheard of. For a free speech absolutionist like myself to hear that the United States government says that if you are on a social media platform simply because it's owned by a, quote, adversarial government, we don't have freedom of speech? And why do I have a funny feeling that the term adversarial government could be extended to others? Considering the administration coming in, an adversarial government could be anyone from Russia or China to Canada or Mexico or even California. Don't think that's not too far-fetched. Now, on top of all this, we need to mention the fact that ByteDance has not told us what they plan to do on the 19th. What are we going to do? Will the servers shut down? Will they send Antoine down to Texas with an axe and take out all the servers? That's a Free Guy reference. You wouldn't understand. To me, all of this is an effort to shut you and I up. And it is not limited to TikTok. Every single attack they they make on Meta and other places, Alphabet / Google / YouTube. It's a roundabout way of trying to shut you up, or try to put certain platforms in the hands of people who would guarantee there would be no free speech, or at least no free speech that the new owners would not agree with. So, what do we do? If you're on TikTok, we need to figure out where we're going to go. And we need to figure that one out right now. And we need to agree on that. This is not a situation where, oh, I'm just used to this platform, or I'm not. We need to be ready to go wherever we need to go. Thankfully, I'm on several platforms. Also, thankfully, I have a way where you can get there. My link tree, which is LINKTR. Put in a dot, then continue EE/RADIODON. Linktree/Radio Dawn. linktr.ee/Radio Dawn. All of my socials are there. And it'd be nice if you were able to follow me at certain places, and we can continue the conversation. But past that, we probably need to create our own system, which is why I'm so glad to have my Substack. This is going to be on there. These podcasts are going to be on there. A lot of my video stuff is going to be on there. And it's not being run by any big corporation right now. radiodon.substack.com. Join me there. We're also going to fire up the premium part of that. It'll help me out a lot. We'll talk about this more as the date comes along. But I'll end it right here. Hope that you enjoyed the podcast. I appreciate the fact that you made it this far. We'll talk later. Take care.